Haunting Night, Mystery of the Haunted Forest. This is a story Alan and his friends one day planned a camping trip far away from the city in a quiet and deserted place. They had no idea that the forest they were going to had reports of people disappearing. But the friends ignored these rumors and set off toward the mysterious forest. The sun was setting and Alan and his friends had reached the middle of the forest. They pitched their tent and sat around a fire. Everyone was having fun, but Alan felt something strange inside, like someone was watching them. He tried to hide his unease, but his eyes kept wandering into the thick darkness of the forest. It was around 11 p.m. when suddenly a strange rustling sound was heard in the air. The trees began to shake and cold winds started blowing. Alan's friends thought it was a joke, but then one of the friends, Robert, said, "Did you see that?" Everyone looked at him. Robert, scared, pointed towards the forest. "There, someone is standing there." Everyone looked in that direction, but they saw nothing. Alan tried to ignore it, but then footsteps could be heard coming slowly toward them. It sounded like someone was approaching very quietly. Now everyone was scared. Suddenly, a terrifying scream echoed through the air, and everyone inside the tent began to tremble. Alan gathered courage and stepped outside with a flashlight. He looked around, but there was no one. Then his flashlight stopped on a tree, and what he saw froze him with fear. There was a shadow hanging from the tree. It looked like someone was hanging. His breath quickened. He rushed back to the tent. But as soon as he entered, another scream was heard. This time, it was their friend Pedro. Pedro was lying on the ground, and terror was etched on his face. Shaking, he said, She tried to pull me." Everyone lifted Pedro and thought of running away. But just then, all the lights inside the tent went out. Now, there was only darkness all around. Suddenly, Alan heard a woman's voice. The voice was very close. "Why have you come here? This place is not for you." Alan looked around, but he couldn't see anyone. Just then, from behind the trees, a figure appeared. A woman draped in a white sari, her hair devilish and her eyes completely black. She was slowly approaching them. Alan and his friends were terrified, but their legs had stopped working. They couldn't run. The woman spoke softly. "This forest is cursed by me. Whoever enters here is destined to die." Alan somehow gathered the courage and asked, "Who are you?" The woman screamed, "I was the queen of this forest. I was deceitfully killed here. Now I take revenge on anyone who steps foot in this forest." Alan and his friends mustered their last bit of courage and tried to escape the forest. They ran through the trees, trying to find a way out, but it felt like the forest was closing in on them from all sides. Suddenly, a loud scream echoed in their ears. The woman chasing them disappeared, but Alan knew this was just the beginning. Somehow, they managed to escape. As dawn broke, they returned to the city, but the terror of that night was forever etched in their hearts. They never spoke of that forest again.